Come on in, tap the screen, share the live. Whew, okay. This feels a little bit more familiar. Okay, guys, we got a good 30-minute stream in over there, but we didn't get to the debate part on YouTube, so a lot of people didn't get to see that, which sucks. But that's okay. That's okay. Anyways, tap the screen, share the live. Do the things, do all of the good things in the words of our good sis, Erica Shante. All right. Now here, I know for a fact we got unicorns. Because y'all played with me. There they are. Jeez, babe, what are you eating? Babe, Jesus, is it good? Tearing that shit up. What is it, a Jolly Rancher?
Mexican candies.
Not the Mexican candies. The spicy ones? Ew, why do you do that to yourself? Tap it up. 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 Trump supporters, if you're in the room, hop in the box. Let's have a conversation.
Hello.
Hi.
Age
statement, who you voted for?
So I'm 18.
What year were you born?
2008.
What month?
January 23rd.
Okay.
But okay, I got a weird take on this. I know people whenever I debate someone, they sometimes instantly kick me just because my take.
Do you support Trump?
I'm not okay. Not really. That's not really. I'm not a MAGA or liberal. I'm not a MAGA or liberal. But compared to Kamala, I think he was the safest option.
What were Kamala's policies? Which one did you disagree with?
Are you talking to me or
Yes.
Policies?
Which policy of Kamala's did you disagree with?
The abortion, legal abortion,
legal abortion.
Yeah, that's the main one.
What's wrong with abortion?
It's murder. It's
murder.
The base. Yes, it is murder.
So who's getting killed?
The baby in the womb.
Oh,
Still a human being.
What does the Constitution say?
That we're all equal.
No, it says all persons what on U.S. soil?
Right.
All persons.
Give me a second, dang. I don't read the Constitution.
You don't read the Constitution, so you don't know the law of your land. You don't know Kamala's policies, so you didn't research those to see if you agree with them or not. And then you have a problem with abortion. Let me ask you a few questions. How many tampons does a woman usually use on her period?
Why would I need to know that?
Okay. Can you tell me how long is the average gestation period?
Again, why would I need to know that, bro?
Okay. Can you tell me can you tell me what preeclampsia is? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Y'all come get y'all kids. Come get y'all children. Please. And tell them to stop playing on the internet. Tell them to quit playing on the internet. Okay? We ain't got time. We don't got no time. We got time. Send those heart meets, guys. Tonight we went live on YouTube and we found out that we were wildly unprepared. But we did that shit. And we learned all of our pain points tonight, so we can fix them for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a much better stream, and we'll get it going. So I'm excited. The more we get learning this thing, the more we just gonna make it work. No losses in life, only lessons. That's how life works. So, Trump supporters, if you're in the chat, hop in the box. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a chitter and a chatter. Why are you still supporting this man? Why? I'd like to know. I would love to know. Tell me. Am I the only person, and if y'all want me to, I can start debating them more, but am I the only person that thinks like talking about taxes and stocks is extremely boring? Is it like I understand like having conversations about tax plans and things like that, but like, does anybody else get extremely bored with that conversation? Like, I don't know. It's just extremely boring for me. Everybody half sleep, pass it down. Oh my God. Stocks are so annoying. I'm like, and if you let them tell it, everybody's a millionaire. Everybody's a millionaire. They get up here so confident with the wrong information. Ain't no way you trading stocks and you that bad at math. There's no way. There's no way. Who trusts you? Who raised you? Just saying. I don't like it. Anyways, hey everybody, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. If you're a Trump supporter, hop in the box. Let's have a conversation. Let's chitter and let's chatter, because we've got some things we need to discuss. Why are we still losing a war? Why? Y'all think the more bombs you drop, the more you're winning? No, not how that works. So have we seen that Trump is putting new signs outside of the Smithsonian? President Donald Trump ordered his administration Friday to install signs in front of the Smithsonian Institution's U.S. History Museum, telling visitors that some of the exhibits are inaccurate. His latest move to reshape how the history of the United States is told. Trump's move follows a report released July 4th by his Domestic Policy Council saying leaders of the Smithsonian and its National Museum of American History don't tell history in a way that is inspiring, unifying, and worthy of our great republic. Here is my problem. This is a conversation I really hate to get into, especially on the internet. That would be Donald Trump. Would you like to come up and have a conversation about it, Billy? Totally up to you. Hi. Billy, do you know you're here?
How are you? Hear me?
Age statement, who you voted for?
How you doing? In my 40s. I live in Texas.
Did you vote for Trump?
In the last election, I did. Yes, correct.
Do you still support him now?
Everybody asks that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the prompt. It's like kind of extreme. The enemy within, like, if he's not going to be there in 2 years, roughly, right? And we're going to move on. So, what's the big point you have to tell everybody on your live? about the person in the background.
Got it. Why don't you tell me why you're still supporting him in this moment?
In this moment, because his policies stand in opposition to the other party. I'd love to vote for someone in the Democrat Party. Well, of just like individual freedom and
what's it called?
Capitalism, and just make your own way. It's called following the Constitution.
Which amendment?
All of them.
Well, I mean, all of them wouldn't apply. So which amendments in particular?
Why wouldn't they all apply?
Because you specifically said this was about capitalism and making your own way. And I'm asking specifically, which amendments?
I broadly said it's about capitalism, making your own way. Okay. You brought up the Constitution and amendments.
You brought up the Constitution.
Well, yeah, I brought up the Constitution, but then, yeah, they all apply.
Listen, why don't we start over? Tell me what policy of Trump's you're still supporting him on.
The border policy.
What's it called?
What's it called? Enforcing the laws we have on the books. I don't know the name of them.
Which
laws? The laws that say, like every country we have a border, and you can't come here unless you have naturalization processes. I didn't get to.
Wait, time out. My question to you specifically. Hey, you okay? My question to you specifically is you said we're enforcing the laws that we already have on the books. What law wasn't being enforced?
Immigration and enforcement. And when you have sanctuary cities,
under Title 8, what? No. Under Title, no. My question is very specific.
This is not a quiz show.
No, my question is very specific. You made a statement, and the statement you made came out of your mouth. You specifically said, we are just enforcing the laws that are already on the books. Under Title 8, what laws are those?
The Immigration Nationalization Act.
You do know that Title 8 is our immigration law under the U.S. Code. So under Title 8, right, that was a freebie. Under Title 8, which part of Title 8 were we not enforcing?
We were enforcing any of it. We opened the damn border like a sieve under the last administration.
What? Show me the policy that
I don't have to show you. People voted based on that fact already.
No. You specifically said you made a claim. So you make a claim, and then for some odd reason you just
you don't need to take my word for it, lady. Just look at the fucking evidence. Look at how people voted. You had 4-year gap to show us. You had a 4-year gap. Let me take a breath for you.
Such an angry.
You had a 4-year gap to show us a better candidate.
Great. I don't really give a fuck. I don't really give a fuck about none of that. My question to you specifically, right? I live in Tennessee. What are you talking about? So, anyways, let's. Hey. Can I get those boiling stickers in the chat, family? Because we already know what's about to go down. Okay. My question to you is going back to your original claim. And your original claim was that we were not enforcing the laws that were on the books. You would have to tell me what law we weren't enforcing, and then we can argue that point. We can't just argue a general point of, well, they weren't enforcing the laws on the books. Well, then we'd have to go through the whole U.S. Code, and that's a lot of things. So I'd imagine since we're just talking about immigration, you are specifically referring to Title 8. Where in Title 8 do you happen to see that disconnect? Where? What did we do? What did we pass that opened the border?
I'm not discussing Title 8. The Immigration National INA in 1952, Homeland Security Act of 2002, Title 8's Code of Federal Regulations. The legal power to control entry, check goods, and stop people. So we ignored that. We seem to ignore that. If we didn't, people wouldn't have voted as if we didn't ignore it.
What title under the U.S. Code does the INA fall under? Chat, let's talk about it.
Are you a lawyer? Like, are you looking for
does the INA
quiz show
fall under the U.S. Code? Is my question.
I don't know.
Because the INA.
You already heard me.
Thank you. You
didn't make a point by
Title
saying
8.
We already said Title 8.
With that being said, hey, the INA would fall under Title 8, darling. So what you're explaining in this moment is the same exact thing, and you're trying to weasel your way out of the argument.
You're shot, dude. You're like all about semantics.
The same. No, I'm not about semantics. You made a claim, and the claim that you made was very specific. in what you said. You specifically said, we are enforcing the laws that are already on the books. You made a separate claim.
Do you disagree with my claim?
Hold on.
No, hold on.
Yes,
this.
I do.
Do you disagree with it or not?
I do disagree. Specifically,
so?
you also made a follow-up claim. And the follow-up claim that you made was that we opened the border like a sieve, right? So those two claims you would have to prove. So the first question I have is, what part of Title 8 were we not enforcing? And number two, what policy was passed to open the border?
Deportation and removal. We didn't enforce that.
We didn't enforce deportation and removal?
We did.
Okay, can you show me that on DHS? Let's go take a look together.
I'm not
yeah,
just here
let's go look together. You and me.
You're like
you don't
exhausting.
I thought we were talking together. I thought we were having a conversation.
We are having a conversation, but you're trying to dive.
The family that fact checks together stays together, and we're family.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So listen, let's go
it's
to.
Kind
let's
of
go.
Boring
Let's
what you're doing.
Let's
go ahead.
Can you show me? Can you show me according to CBP? Right. According to CBP, let's look at those numbers.
You don't have to take my
word.
Yeah,
I'd be happy to do that. So my question to you specifically, right? Let's go take a look.
Not right.
And you specifically said, right? You specifically said that we are enforcing laws that are on the books, right? Then you brought up the INA, which falls under the laws that are on the books, right? 2, you specifically said, right, that we opened the border like a sieve and that we were not enforcing deportation.
Under the previous administration,
Under the previous administration, you said we were not enforcing those numbers. So you would be able to show me that deportations were at an all-time low during that time. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Okay, show me.
So I got any clipboard and put all this stuff up.
See, what happens is when you're having an intellectual conversation, you bring sources because you want the other person to be able to go to
whitehouse.org. Go to U.S. Customs.
No. That's not who.
You don't need to finish.
Yes, I am. I am right here on CBP. I am right here on CBP.
Communism
Tell me where to go.
Place in America. Are you a commie?
That's great. We'll go there in a minute. I want to know specifically right now, when you say go to CBP, you pointed me in the right direction. Thank you so much for that. Now what do I click? Where do I go now?
If you know that much, you know the rest. So you're being disingenuous.
Go to CBP. I thought you said specifically.
Go to cbp.gov. Okay, 65th paragraph down from the right. What the hell do you want? You want to have like I
want you to show me the numbers that you're talking about because your claim, your claim was that we were not enforcing deportations. And so with that being said, you'd have to show me that those numbers were down at that time. And you'd have to show me that they're not matching up with these numbers.
Do I just have to vote? Do we have to vote? Isn't that how we control things?
Well, you came up here to have a conversation.
Voted, right?
So did you just come up here to scream or did you come to have a conversation? Because I can give you a source.
I just wanted to have a conversation without facts. It's Friday night. I don't want to
You want to have a conversation without facts.
I wanted to have a conversation without looking up shit on Google like an Encyclopedia Festival.
No, I mean, that was a Freudian slip, dear. You specifically said you want to have a conversation without facts.
Just become a psychologist if you're not already and just fuck somebody else up. You ain't going to fuck me up.
That's perfect. But my question to you specifically is, you said you want to have a conversation without facts. How do we do that when we're having a factual, intellectual conversation?
I didn't want to have as deep a conversation as you want to have, evidently.
Oh, then why'd you come up here?
Well, that's a good question. I guess I'll rethink that.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, that was a concession. That was a concession. We love a concession. Hi. Okay, I guess you're grabbing whoever you kidnapped out of the trunk. And hey, Policy Driven. Hey, everybody. By the way, Chad, if I haven't told you today, I love you so much. And I'm so glad that you are here. And if you didn't hear that from anybody else today, you're hearing it from me. And if you didn't belong in any other room that you walked in today, you damn sure belong here. And I'm glad you came. Make sure that you guys are tapping the screen. Let's get up to at least, I'm not even at 10K yet. Y'all let me go through all of that. And I'm not even at 10K. Wild work. Wild work. Sober Mikey. I'm Sober AJ. Nice to meet you. 669 days today. I'm actually Sober Unicorn, right? I emit sparkle now. Tap it up, 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 tap it up. I am so glad you guys are here. Okay, so Zelda fan. Zelda fan, do you know you're here? Zelda fan does not know Zelda fan is here. Thank you, Kales, because what are they doing? Thank you, Raina. Hi. Hi.
Hello, madam. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am doing well. I think you are inviting up opposition. Everything that you sir, are saying sounds reasonable. So I guess I would not be a great person to have on the panel. Not that the gentleman before me was, because he obviously conceded. He just conceded. He just gave in because all of his reason went out the window like really dirty bathwater. And I'm sure somewhere in his MAGA heart, he's crying, and he deserves to cry.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you so much for coming up. I hope you have a good night. Oh, guys, you're just looking for debates right now. You're not up to debate. I'll buy the box for me, but you guys are hilarious. Y'all are so funny. I always appreciate it. Hi. 995 995 964. Do you know you're here? Okay. I literally just brought you up here and you said absolutely nothing. If you want to come back up and have a conversation, you're welcome to do that. But I'm not going to sit here and keep hollering your name. That's wild. Anyways, hey guys. I have a game today. Y'all know I love a good game. And so I thought we'd play some trivia. Just basic, like break it down trivia. Let's do the things. Okay? All right. So do you guys pick a topic? I don't know how we're going to do that. Do I have a mod in here? Is there a mod in the room? Any mods in here at all? No mods? Love this for me. All right. I'm on my own. We're doing this, guys. I usually go and do history. I do like history and government so that everybody is aware of their like rights and things like that. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Age statement who you voted for?
I'm 38, California, voted for Trump.
Okay.
So yeah, I think the government should put in legislation that is geared more towards a working society and not just giving free handouts. So things like the Beautiful Bill, I think, is great for America.
Can you clarify free handouts?
Yeah, free handouts like I don't know, Kamala Harris's tax credit on housing and stuff like that, and pretty much
how is that a handout when it's a reimbursement?
Expanding and it's what?
How is it a handout when it's a reimbursement? As a tax credit?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. My bad. Not about that. I mean, like expanding social safety nets. My bad.
Social safety nets, like making sure kids have food and elderly people have food and working families
Uh,
have food.
yeah. Or are you saying that they don't have food already and they rely on the government?
If they do, it's not my business as long as they're fed.
Oh, well, I didn't say it was your business. I'm saying I'd rather have a government geared more towards a working class. So,
Then if
so
you're
things,
going to have
so
a
things like making.
wait. So that would mean that you would want a government that's going to make sure that people have living wages so that they don't have to ask the government. That would mean that you would want a government that goes and gets rid of the WOIA tax credit that allows for large corporations to receive tax credits as long as the people that they are hiring and employing can still benefit from those government social programs, even when they work 40 to 60 hours a week.
I don't even know what you're trying to say right now. You just
Yeah,
said
so
a whole
that's a
lot.
thing. We actually have a WOIA tax credit. That tax credit, actually what it does is if you hire people, right, and one, if they are still receiving government assistance on the job, then that company gets a subsidy. If they have received government subsidy, I mean government programs in the past 12 months before they started that job, that company receives a subsidy from the government. So it's easier to keep people poor so that you can receive those tax credits than it is to actually give people a working wage. But instead, the way that you look at it is, okay, we need to make sure we need to make sure that people still have the same wages and their circumstances remain the same, and they just need to figure it out because they don't need to ask the government that they pay into with their own money for their money back.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you. You need to figure it out for sure. For sure. That's exactly what I mean.
Why
So
if
things
the government is taking
making,
money, wait, hold on. If the government is taking money from every citizen to put into these social programs and every citizen is paying into those social programs, then I don't necessarily understand. You're paying
you
about
mean,
$38 a
like
year.
we're already doing, right?
You ain't really putting no food on the table for real.
You mean like we're already doing, right?
I feel perfectly fine with people being able to eat. If you don't want people being able to eat, that's a you problem. It has nothing to do with
you don't even know if they're able to eat or not. You're just saying that just because they're on the social
according to the
safety nets, right?
USDA, when we initially started the SNAP program, it actually fed about 3 to 4 million children, and it brought childhood hunger down by about 70%. As we've seen those cuts happen under the Big Beautiful Bill in 2024, 1 in 5 children went to bed hungry, and now according to the USDA, 1 in 4 go to bed hungry. So that would mean we see a direct correlation between actually funding those programs and removing funding from those programs. So yeah, that's my proof. There will be the United States Department of Agriculture.
Well, that's great that you brought up an old statistic. What about today? Are we starving today? Are people
So I
going starving
specifically
today?
just said that in 2024, we were looking at 1 in 5 children going to bed hungry. In 2025 and 2026, that number has now gone to 1 in 4, meaning that we actually have more hungry children now than we did before. So yes, that would be according to the USDA, sir.
So America has a hunger problem then.
America has a poverty problem and has for a long time. And and with poverty
Oh,
comes
great.
hunger. So yes.
Oh, great. Then, so we should work then, right? So people should go find jobs and work, right?
Do you understand that 67% of the people who are on social programs have jobs? 30% of those people that are on social programs are children. 9% of the people who are on social programs are the disabled, and 1.2% of those people are the elderly. So I'm trying to figure out of the 67%, what other percentage of those people did you want to go work?
Let's see here.
The children,
I
the
see
elderly, the disabled. Which one of those groups?
able-bodied.
So children, disabled, or elderly?
Able-bodied, able to
Wait,
work.
time out. So if someone is disabled, clearly they're not able-bodied. A child can't go to work because they're not old enough. And elderly people, right, are older, and most people aren't even hiring them. So even if they are looking for jobs, many of them are already counted out because of their ages. So with that being said, I'm trying to understand when you say able-bodied, like these are talking points. You're not actually digging into the substance of it. So I'd like to have a conversation about the substance.
Sure. So you have how many Americans receive SNAP benefits?
I can look that up for you. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I believe it's like 41 million or
41 million. What does that say about your country?
Well, hold on real quick. We'll get there. We'll get there right now,
Sure.
but let's get that number right first, right?
Yeah, about 42.1 million Americans.
Great. Now, how many receive benefits without a job or with a job who are
67% of them work. You do understand that in order to receive
can I get a round number?
No. I'm sorry. In order to receive, you're not listening. You're walking yourself
but
into,
you're giving the percentage.
You're walking
of what,
yourself
though?
into an ass whooping, and it doesn't make sense, friend.
Yeah, but you're giving that
You
percentage.
do
of
understand
what,
that
of people
under
who are
SNAP,
on
on SNAP
right now
benefits, you
currently?
have a work requirement. You have to go to work.
Yes, now, yes.
No, that's
thanks to
always been
Trump,
the
yes.
case. Yes, you've always had to have a job, or you've had to be in school at least for 20 hours or inside of a trade. So with that being said, you have to be moving towards financial prosperity in one way or the other. So what I'm trying to understand
So you're telling me
specifically
you can't be
is, wait a minute,
unemployed and
time out,
receive
excuse
SNAP
me, I'm still
benefits?
speaking. I'm still speaking. You don't like the answer, but I'm still speaking.
Well, you just
So
monologue all day.
the thing is, you decided that it was easier for you to not research, but it was much easier for you to shit on people without
10.6
understanding
million
basic SNAP
Americans who receive
requirements.
SNAP do only have a job out of 42
You
point
do
something million.
you do understand that 67% of those working, on SNAP benefits work. The rest of them are children, the elderly, and the disabled. So what you're doing in this moment is you're cherry picking information when I gave you the whole statistic all the way down to the 1%. So see,
Okay,
the
so
thing
we
is,
said
again,
42
you're
million.
trying to,
Now,
I
how many
can't
million?
debate. The thing
You're just
is,
gonna keep monologuing, dude, the
because
whole
what
entire
you're
time.
saying
That's all you
doesn't
do.
make sense. You're sitting
Okay,
here
can I
and you're
get?
trying to make it
Oh
make
my
sense
God.
that children should go hungry in this
Can I
country.
get a round number? How many millions of Americans on SNAP have a job? How many millions? Not percentages. Can I get a million number?
Do you not know how to count percentages? That's
Well,
just
we know
simple math.
42. Wait, but we know 42%
How many people live in America?
receive 42% of Americans, 42 million Americans
How
receive
many
SNAP
what
benefits.
percentage of
Out of
Americans
that
is that?
40, out of that 42 million, how many have a job?
Wait a minute. Time out. Isn't this your argument?
Well, you keep saying percentages. Can I get a
I'm
round
giving
number?
you
How many
you
millions of
here's the
that
thing.
42%,
I
42
gave you
million,
percentages.
how many have a
And
job?
hold on. I gave you percentages.
So you don't know. So you don't know?
You want me to break the math down for you? That's how much research you chose to do?
Yes.
No, I don't have to do that.
Now
I
you're
gave
getting
you the
it.
percentages
Why not?
for your argument. The crazy part is now you're losing your mind because you've lost track of your own argument and you want me to make it for you, and that's not going to happen. So my question to you specifically,
10.6.
again, like I asked you,
10.6 million.
is if you are talking about, right, the amount of people who work, right? You are also talking about the fact that there are children, disabled, and elderly people. Many of those households have more than one child. Those people are counted as well. That's what you have to understand. So in that 42.1 million, a family of 5 is each counted individually. So you have to also understand that America
child
isn't
is
a
counted?
welfare state. Yes.
Each child
You're
is
not counted by
as-
families.
so-
You're counted by
so
each
when they say-
recipient.
Okay, so now when you say 42 million people of Americans receive SNAP benefits, you're in that 42 million, you're counting each child. That's what you're doing?
Do you not understand how that's calculated?
I'm asking you a question. Is that what you're doing?
I've already answered that question twice. See,
So
the thing
yes?
is now you're just obfuscating the argument and it's boring.
So
Because I've
yes,
already
you
said
are.
yes twice. When you're talking about families, when you go in, they ask you who the recipients in your home would be, right? I used to process these applications. And so what you do is you put in the parents' names and you factor in their income, and then you put the children in, and it factors in their meal credit for the month and what they'll receive. Each person is a recipient of SNAP. If your child gets free or reduced lunch, your child is a recipient of SNAP. So see, the thing is, you haven't even done enough research on how the program works, and you're just trying to argue your cruelty. I can't argue how heartless you are. That's a you problem. I don't understand why y'all keep doing that. That's weird. Why do y'all come up here and ask me to argue with y'all humanity? That's weird.
Great. So are you done monologuing?
I don't know.
When you say
I
42
feel like I want to
million
talk some more.
Americans,
Now I'm just going to talk until I die because you're boring.
when
Did
you
you want
say
me to keep
42
talking, or do
million
you want to have a
Americans, you're
chance to say what you're
counting,
going to say? Do you
you
want to keep
are
talking, or
counting
do you want to have
children.
a chance to say what you're going to
You're not
say?
counting just
Do you want to
the
talk, or do you
person
want to have your
applying.
chance to say what you're going to say? Because see, the thing is, I can get louder,
Are you
and then
counting
when
the
I get
person
really
applying,
loud,
or
I
you're
also
counting
get my
every
echo
single
on.
child?
So the thing is, you're going to continue to keep talking, and I specifically was about to give you the floor. I got quiet. I was about to give you the floor. See, now I'm going to keep talking because you keep trying to tell me that I need to argue your humanity. I don't have to do
No, I didn't. I
that.
didn't say that.
I
I didn't
don't.
say that.
See, you are the person that doesn't care if children go hungry. You are the person who believes that adults 65 and 70 years old should be getting up and going back to work. You are the one that believes that children shouldn't have access to free lunch. You are the one that believes that children should pay for the sins of their fathers. You are the one that believes that families shouldn't be able to feed themselves because you don't want to pay $38 a year. You would rather not pay that at all into a social program. So I'm asking the people that actually pay into a program that they benefit from their government, that they pay into, versus the
Everybody.
person that doesn't want to pay at all, who's asking for free shit?
Are you saying the person that doesn't want to pay at all? That's what
You're
is
the
that your
person, that would
claim?
be you.
Yeah.
So you don't want to pay into a social program, so you're asking for the government to give you free shit. Not them.
No, I'm
They're the
asking.
ones that are
I'm
paying
asking
into the
for.
program, and they're
I'll tell you what
asking
I'm asking
to
for.
take out of what they've already paid in. You're
No,
the one that's saying that
we'll
you
bring
didn't
it.
want
We'll
to
bring
pay
it full
into it at all.
circle.
So now at this point, you're the one that's asking the government for free shit.
We'll bring it full circle. Like I
That's a
said in the
handout.
beginning. Like I
Why
said in
not
the
just pay your
beginning,
bills, pay your
you're
taxes?
terrified to let me speak, aren't you?
Go ahead,
Like
I'll
I said
mute.
it. Like I said in the beginning, if you're able-bodied, you need to be working. That's what I said, and not accepting free handouts. An estimated 10.6 million adults living in households that receive SNAP are employed. That's 10.6 million out of 42 million Americans. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. And do you agree with those work requirements? Do you agree with that? I'm done now. But can you answer my question since I've answered all your questions? Do you agree that the able-bodied Americans who receive SNAP benefits should work at least 20 hours minimum a week? Agree or disagree?
I'm going to answer your question.
Great.
But first, I'm going to go through what I was about to say. You said, how many people? How many adults
Adults that what? Receive or are employed?
are employed?
10.6 million.
How many adults are in school currently that receive SNAP benefits?
I don't know. How many?
And then how many children are receiving SNAP benefits? No. Because you wanted to do math, and I like math. So let's do math. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right.
I don't know why we're talking about school.
That's a requirement. See, that's another thing you don't know because you don't read the requirements, right? You have to be at least part-time enrolled in school, or you have to be working at least 20 hours a week. And then here's the other thing.
Great.
If you're not working 20 hours a week, or if you're not in school, you have to be doing volunteer work, meaning that you don't pay anything at all into the government.
Yes.
So hold on,
Like I said, we
because
should
I
be
gave
working,
you,
right?
I muted while you were speaking.
Okay, go ahead.
Do the same for me. Hit that little button at the bottom. I don't want to have to do
I'm
it
not
for
hitting
you.
no button.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and do that for you.
Go ahead.
Perfect. All right. So here's the thing. Okay. Number one, right? You're talking about people who have to A, work, B, go to school, 3, volunteer, right? You didn't look up those other 2 statistics. You just kind of stuck with that one, but 10 million of those people are out of the way. Remember, each child counts as a recipient. The average family has about 2.5 children. I'm sorry, it's 2.9 children, meaning most families are on an average have about 3 children. Okay, so with that said, if we're talking about the children that don't receive those benefits, and then we're also talking about the elderly, we're also talking about the disabled. Keep in mind that some of those adults who are disabled are also adults that live with their parents who also, right, receive those government benefits. Now, do I believe people should have to work 20 hours a week in order to be able to receive those benefits? No, because what happens is what we've seen by the statistics before we even implemented those particular restrictions was that the average person stayed on SNAP benefits anywhere between 9 and 13 months. And so with that being said, what we were noticing was that people were not taking advantage of said system. They weren't staying on it for 20 years. What happened was Ronald Reagan came in and gave you the idea of a welfare queen, and it stuck with you. That's called the prototype theory. You should look that up. Now, what happened in this moment is you're now saying, well, we need to make sure that nobody's gaming the system. You believe that you don't want somebody to get something that you can't receive. Then you said that you don't want to pay $38 a year into your own country to take care of your own children in this country. Because see, the way that I look at it is if you're a child in this country, I'm responsible for you. Because at the end of the day, no child, a defenseless human being, should have to be forced and pushed to have to fend for themselves because their parents didn't do the right thing. There should always be somebody there for that child, or else we create another generation of broken adults. See, the thing is, you find a lot more interest in your cruelty than you do in actually understanding fiscal policy and how it works. And see, the crazy part about this is every single thing that you've said in this moment has nothing to do with policy. It has nothing to do with statistics, and it has nothing to do with a solution. You haven't told me what you think about those children that are not going to have access to free lunch this year. You haven't told me what you think about those parents who can no longer put food on the table after they've lost their federal jobs, after they were put out of their federal jobs. You never told me about the teacher that is underpaid that has to also get those government benefits. Or what about the 60% of military families that depend on food assistance? Like, those things matter. So it's okay for someone to go and lay their life down for you, but it's also okay for their kids to starve. See, that's where you get all of this wrong. This is where you tend to go to this space of trying to make your cruelty the star of the show. I don't necessarily care about that, because there are many of us who are still going to pay in our $38 to make sure that the next generation doesn't have to deal with the same shit we had to deal with. See, we don't have the privilege of saying we want to see you hungry because we know what it feels like for your stomach to touch your back. We don't have to say that we want your parents to not have it because we know what it looked like for our parents to have to scrape up change to go and get a pack of chicken for us. So with that being said, I don't have the same type of cruelty that you have, so I can never understand you. And I'm sorry that we can't meet on that level, but I can tell you this: as long as there is breath in my body and there are children that are hungry, I'm going to do everything I can, even if it means paying $38 out of my fucking check the whole year to make sure that they're good. And if it means that their parents get a little bit of weight off of their shoulders and they able to get their baby a birthday cake, they're able to make sure that baby has formula that WIC is actively being defunded right now, that mothers aren't going to be able to get. Take a look at the 2027 budget where they're defunding formula grants. Yeah, let's go take a look at all of those things. So you have talking points, but you don't realize what's being done. But I'm going to let you speak because I feel like I monologued, like y'all like to say.
Yeah, that was definitely a monologue. That was a great monologue. And it's funny that the left only cares about children if they're not fetuses, unless they're otherwise they're voting for the termination of fetuses. So it's funny how you say you care about children, but therefore you vote for Kamala Harris, whose whole campaign was aborting children. First of all. Second of all, you want to talk about the $35 or $38 Americans are spending out of their paycheck, but yet Democrats and the left love to bitch about the national debt. Guys, we need to pay down the national debt, and we can't be but we want to expand social safety nets. Kamala Harris wanted to expand everything and spend all this money and expect everybody to pay down the national debt, everybody. And all I'm saying is the person sitting at home who's receiving SNAP benefits, who is not working, needs to be able-bodied. If you're disabled, that's fine. If you're elderly, that's fine. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. It's the Americans who are being hindered by this free government payout. It's never helped any American. It only hinders especially the Black community. It hinders us to be reliant on the government, and you do not see that. I don't see how you don't see that over all of these past years. Over I don't know how long has Black people been dependent on the government, and you see it. You just act like you don't see it. You want to be blind to it just because it's the white man who's saying, it's Donald Trump who's saying that these people need to work. That's the only reason you're saying that. That's the only reason you're saying that. You will not sit here and say, oh, the Black people need to be self-reliant and get a job and not be so dependent on the government. I don't see how you don't see that. I don't see why you won't advocate towards that. I don't see why not. What you're saying is we need to be more reliant on the government. We need this stuff. We need the Black community to be spoon-fed by the government and reliant on the government. I don't understand any of that. It doesn't make any sense. You guys care so much about children, only if they're, but when they're in the womb, though. When they're in the womb, we don't care. We want to advocate for their termination. It's only when they're outside of the womb is when we act like we care now. But have abortions all day long. Kamala Harris ran on abortion. That was her main talking point. She didn't have any other talking points. Go ahead. I'm not going to monologue like you. I don't have to speak for 35 minutes straight like you do.
It was about 3, but thanks. Anyways, I'll get to your abortion argument in a minute, but I want to talk about some other shit. So you said expanding social safety nets. We've already debunked that argument, because at the end of the day, if we're going to expand social safety nets, we would have to do that anyway, seeing as how we're in a silent squeeze where prices are going up, but wages aren't, right? So with that being said, eventually social safety nets are going to have to be expanded anyway. You said they're sitting at home, and if they're sitting at home, they need to be able-bodied. I don't know what that meant, but anyways, at the end of the day, if a person you That's did false. You specifically said that. I actually typed it while you were saying it. If they're able-bodied, they need to be working. No, that's not what you said. And maybe that's what you meant to say, but that's not what you said. I actually typed it exactly as you said it. One thing I do, I make sure, right? I'm not on YouTube right this moment. Oh, so everybody said in the chat that that's what you said. Okay, because I was like, he said if they're sitting at home, they need to be able-bodied. And I was like, wait a minute, wasn't that against your argument? But okay, maybe that's not what you meant, and that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with okay, if they're sitting at home, they need to be working. That was your argument. Cool. My question specifically is, that wasn't Donald Trump's plan. Donald Trump said they need to be volunteering, they need to be going to school, or they need to be working. So with that being said, if 10.2 million, like you said, are already working, how many are in school? How many are volunteering? Let's put those numbers together on top of the fact that, like I said, children can't go to work. The elderly shouldn't be going back to work after they've worked their whole lives, right? And the disabled shouldn't be counted out. You know who did count disabled people out? You know who did make sure that disabled people didn't have what they need? Your president. As a matter of fact, what he did was he actually changed a rule under the Social Security Social Security Disability Administration that would have said, right? Said basically, no. I'm still speaking, because you made all those points. I'd like to make sure that I address every point you made.
I literally didn't hear the last probably 40 seconds. I was on a phone call right now.
Oh, I don't have nothing to do with that. Anyways, so Donald Trump was the one that actually made sure that people who are disabled and are being taken care of by their adult parents, he said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to cut that amount from their food stamps, the amount that they would pay for a room in that house. The disabled person would pay for a room in that house. A person who had a disabled child, the one y'all begged them to keep. right? Who had this disabled child and decided to raise them and and stay with them through adulthood. That person now can no longer be employed to take care of their adult family member that they birthed themselves, right? That person also is receiving cuts to their benefits to actually compensate for the room that the disabled person is sleeping in their house. That's what your president signed a rule in. Okay. Thirdly, if we're talking about people going to work, well, if people are going to work, wouldn't that be so sufficiently dependent on an economy? And if the economy is failing, right, and we're seeing a K-shaped economy where the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, with that being said, then jobs aren't being created. What we've also seen is we've lost millions of jobs. Over 1.3 million jobs have been lost since the end of 2020. Since the end of 2024. So with that being said, those same parents that you're asking to go out here and work so motherfucking hard are the same parents, right, that have to that still, right, are the ones that can't find jobs because they're being snatched up. So tell me, when you're between a rock and a hard place,
hold on.
I'm sorry, I'm still speaking. No. You said I was going to. I'm gonna respond. You can ask me whatever questions you want to ask me. Because see, while you were doing your thing, what I did was I pulled up a notepad and I wrote down all of your points so that I could respond to you without interrupting you. You see how that works? See. You specifically said the black community is relying on benefits. Well, that's really interesting because white people receive more social benefits than anyone else in this country. As a matter of fact, 3.5 million businesses in the United States are owned by black people. On top of the fact that over 400,000 of those businesses are $1 million businesses. So please don't tell me about what black people are doing when white people have been the only people that tell you about your people. Maybe you should go read about your own. Now, white people you lead in government benefits and have been for years now, but they continue to keep selling you the welfare queen dream because you buy it. Absolutely. Those are raw numbers. White people receive those numbers. Tell me, how do you measure per capita? What is the formula?
It means per person.
No. That's what it means in Latin. What is the formula?
What is it? 1 per every 1,000?
There is a whole formula to per capita and you don't know it, but still you wanted to run that because again, somebody told you.
No.
Right? Per capita. And so that's what you decided to do. See, don't use words that you don't understand how to use, because what happens is we conflate numbers to make other people feel better, when the truth of the matter is it's just saying that it's more likely to happen in this space. And if we look at raw numbers and we look at how many people are actually receiving those benefits, it ain't us. So with that being said, you're also talking, let me go back to your abortion argument. Before I have that argument with you, I want to make sure that I ask all the right questions here. Can you tell me, how many tampons does a woman use in the course of a 7-day period?
Why does that matter? That's irrelevant.
It's very important to this conversation. I'd like to know.
No, it's not.
It's very important. So you don't know. Great. Can you tell me at what point is preeclampsia diagnosed?
What?
At what point is preeclampsia diagnosed?
That doesn't matter either.
Oh, okay. Relevant. Can you tell me how long a usual gestation period goes?
Doesn't matter. Irrelevant.
Right. So here's the thing. You have so much to say about no. You have so much to say about a woman's womb, but you know the very least about a woman's body. When you just because you spill yourself inside of a woman does not mean just because you spill your shit inside of a woman does not mean. See, now you're crashing. Let me get those boiling stickers in the chat, sweet friends. Because see, this is what happens when they come up here and they want to have conversations about shit that at the end of the day has nothing to do with you, because you're not going to do anything for those kids.
All irrelevant.
See, those same kids that you were just talking about women need to have so bad are the same kids you said you didn't want to pay $38 for to make sure they ate. So you got to make up your mind. You want more kids that's just going to starve in this world? Or do you want to make sure that people have the proper access to make sure that they can take care of themselves and have kids when they're ready? See, the other question I have to you is, how about the mothers that actually have children at home already? So are you more focused on making sure that you save a fetus that is not even a U.S. citizen versus saving a full-grown woman? See, that tells me how you value people in your life. And so with that being said, what you are doing is you are sitting here right this moment and you're telling me that woman's life means a whole lot less right? Than this baby that we don't even know. See, the thing is, you don't understand how the female body works. You don't understand female anatomy. You don't understand the female reproductive system. You don't understand gestation. You don't understand preeclampsia. You don't understand menstruation. You don't understand any of those things. But yet and still, you continue to want to have conversations about my body. It's crazy how y'all think because you nut on something that you've marked your territory like an animal. What is wrong with you? If you nut on my porch, I don't owe you my deed. If you nut in my car, I don't owe you my keys. If you nut at my job, I don't owe you my job. If you nut in my kitchen, I don't owe you a meal. So with that being said, just because you spill your seed somewhere doesn't mean that you are owed something. And it doesn't mean that you now have control over that thing. You are speaking barbarically as if you are a dog. And the reason, who says that? As if you've marked territory. That is disgusting. What are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah. Are you done monologuing? That
one I don't know. I might go on for a little bit longer.
That one was about 5 minutes. That one was like 5 minutes.
Yes, and the next one might be 10.
I guarantee it will. I'm not.
Do you want to confront my arguments?
Yeah, sure. So back to the per capita. What did you say? Per capita, who receives the most benefits on a per capita?
White people.
Not the raw numbers. Per capita.
Wait, raw numbers matter. Understand that per capita.
Well, when you're talking as a whole, yes.
No.
Hold on, when you're
how is
talking
per
as a whole,
capita
yes.
calculated? You would have to ask how per capita is calculated.
Just answer the question on per capita basis. Who receives the most SNAP benefits?
That would be white people. My question to you specifically is how is per capita calculated?
No, don't run.
My question to you. My question to you.
Can you prove that right now?
Because the thing is, what you're asking for, obviously, whenever you go to per capita, the smaller community is going to outweigh it. But if we're talking raw numbers, which raw numbers actually matter, no, because here's what you're missing. You're talking about, we go off numbers based on U.S. Census data. What we also know is that many Black communities do not fill out the census. So 13% of the population, we are much more than that. We just don't fill out the census. So when you're talking about raw numbers, if we actually were talking about the fact that America is an aging country and more white people are dying off because the average age of white people in this country is 46.2 years old, and we're talking about average age of a Black person, which is about 23. So with that being said, we are actively reproducing. Just because the census is not being filled out does not necessarily mean that we do not have a population in this country. It just means that that's what was counted. See, the thing is, your internalized racism makes you hate us. And so with that being said, what we're talking about is raw numbers. And if we're talking about raw numbers, because y'all love that per capita is what people use to conflate numbers to make them a little more similar to talk about likelihood. And if we're talking about likelihood, they still lead because of the fact that they have a larger population. And if you actually were to use the per capita freaking formula, you would see that. You don't understand how it's calculated, so you're sitting here trying to use that as an argument, and you don't necessarily know what you're talking about. So at this point, what I'm telling you specifically, see, the thing is, I've already debunked that point. We've already been there.
No, we haven't. We haven't debunked anything.
We've debunked that point 100%. White people receive more government assistance than anyone in this country, no matter how you try to slice the pie, and no matter how much you try to make it make sense. White people,
not per capita,
they receive more benefits than anyone in this country, sweetheart.
They're the majority. That's why.
Okay, you can cope with that. If that's what you're going with, when you don't understand how per capita is calculated, of course you're going to say they're the majority. And the reason you're saying that's because that's what your AI overview
so per capita matters.
But the thing of that's exactly what I'm telling you is that it doesn't. That's the whole point of what I'm saying.
So you're just going to use the overwhelmingly. So you're just going to use the overwhelmingly majority of the population, and then say that they're the ones that receive the most.
You're talking about an overwhelming majority. That's not true, because this country used to be 90% white. It is no longer 90% white.
Why do you keep
They're
going
about
back
46%. No. They're about 46% of the population at this point, right? And so if we're talking about white women, right, which are usually the ones that are going to be receiving that assistance, we're talking about 36%. So at that point, if we're talking about using per capita numbers, yes, they lead. So you're making no sense with your argument. What you're trying to do is you're trying to villainize black people. And the truth of the matter is we're winning. But see, this is why I don't do this whole race thing, is because you guys have this idea that somehow you have to prove this weird superiority, even if it's people that will never pick you. And that's the sad part, is that you hate yourself so much, sweetheart, that you had to go and try to find a way to manipulate the numbers in order to be able to make it, to make your
Like you
people
just
the bad
like you
people.
just manipulated that white number. It's
I
not.
gave
You
you
said it's
raw
40 what?
numbers.
Hold on,
I
hold on.
gave
You said
raw
America.
numbers.
You just said America was 40 what percent of America?
What?
You just said
Yeah, see, you're listening to respond at this point. Check.
no.
No.
I'm
Wait a
just
minute. Time out.
debunking everything
Let's
you're
ask the
saying
chat.
one
Chat.
by one.
If you understood anything that I just said, put unicorns in the
You
chat.
said their
Because
population has decreased
he's
to 40
listen,
what
here's my
percent?
thing. If I get unicorns in this chat, you're out. If I get these unicorns, you're
You
out of
just
here.
said great.
I
You're just
specifically
monologuing the
just
whole time
told you.
anyway, so it
I
doesn't really matter.
specifically just told you. I just told you raw numbers. If we're running on raw numbers, we're running on raw numbers, right? You're
You
running
just
on
said you
running
just
on
said
numbers
the
based on this.
population
Go
of
ahead.
America is what percent of white? What did you just say? You said
You
40
tell me.
something
I
percent.
must have been wrong. Tell me.
You said 40 something percent. I know
It's
that.
90. Is it still
That
90?
that's false. No, it's not
Or
90
is it
either.
51?
Nope, you're still wrong. What
What is
you
it?
don't even know. You just threw out a number out there and just
Did I?
thought someone wasn't going to
Check.
fact check you.
How many times have we looked up this statistic? How many times have we looked up
You
this
said it was
statistic?
40 something percent.
Mm-hmm. You do understand how
You
white is classified in this
really?
country, right? You don't know
What?
how
How?
white is classified in this country?
How?
You're not familiar with the 5 categories of race?
What percentage of Americans are white?
No, this
You
is
said
really important to
40
the
something
statistic that you're
percent.
putting out there. I want to be very clear. This
Oh
is
my
really
God,
important to the
dude.
statistic. What number did you get? Tell us.
No, I want to debunk yours
No,
first.
I've already given you my
No,
numbers. They're
no.
putting
You
it all
said
in the chat. The chat
you
heard
said
me.
40
Tell me
something.
what the number is you got,
Okay.
because I'm
So I
ready
see
for
somebody
that one.
said 40. I see
No,
somebody
keep
said
going.
46%.
Tell me what your number is. Get to your
You
point.
just keep
Tell
talking
me.
over me.
Tell
You
the
just keep
point.
talking over me.
You're gonna tell the number?
Did you say 46%?
You're gonna tell the number?
Did you say 46%?
You tell
Did
the
you just
number.
throw
I'm
that out there?
dropping
Did you just
you.
pull that?
5,
Did you just pull that out of your ass?
4, 3.
56.1 to
Perfect. I love that you
72.3%.
said that. This is why that is. Because there are 5 racial categories in the United States of America. And those categories go on how you phenotypically present. So with that being said, if we are talking about white Americans, we are talking about 46% of the country. If we are talking about Latinos, or we're talking about phenotypically white presenting people, they have to choose one of those 5 boxes. So yes, when we are talking about white Americans, it's about 46%. When we talk about other races that
So that
identify
changes.
as white under the racial statistic, then that would mean that those people also identify. Now, keep in mind the difference from the statistic that I just gave you is that when we talk about white or non-white Latinos, that is also listed in the statistic of that category of who receives those benefits. So with that being said, if you're talking about going back to try to
Can you
make
prove?
that number
Hold on.
make
Can you
sense,
prove that?
you're
Wait.
done
Can you prove
at
that?
this point,
Can you prove
because
that last
that was
point?
a waste. That was a fucking waste. And we're done. Oh, Reed finally hopped in the box. Y'all. What is it, Reed? What do you want? Oh, you got in the box and then got quiet? Sad.
You're an idiot.
Oh, that was the first thing we
You're an
said. Is this how we
idiot.
greet each other?
You're an idiot.
Prove one thing I said wrong.
You're an idiot.
Miss Extraordinaire, are you a Trump supporter?
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Okay, tell me what I said wrong.
You're an idiot.
He just gonna keep saying it.
You're an idiot.
So you just gonna say it the whole time? She's gonna say it again. You was off on the beat. It was, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Remember, Reed? That's how that's supposed to go. You just like white people, to lose the motherfucking beat. Holy shit. It's 300 of y'all in here. I'm sorry. If I didn't say welcome, welcome. If you haven't hit the follow button, please hit the follow button up top if you like what you're hearing. And thank you guys so much for fucking being here. I don't know what I did to deserve all of y'all coming in here, but thanks. Good to see you. And as I tell my chat every single day, I love you. If you haven't heard it today, you're hearing it from me. I love you, love you, love you. And if you didn't belong in any room you stepped in today, you damn sure belong in this one, and I'm glad you came. So let's go on to our next caller here. Thanks, Kels. Also, guys, if you want to support the stream, AJ Miller 3309 is a Cash App. Also, Watch My Smoke ATL is my PayPal. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much. Oh no, we got another one. Another one done ran. Why is y'all running?
Ega. Kenta smacks it with a bat and it
What the hell just happened? How come the women never debate? I wonder why. It's always men. They always want to argue. Hi.
Hello.
What's up?
First of all, I want to compliment, your arguments. I hope that you're, I'm on the right side here, but, you were at least presenting your arguments in a distinguishable manner. And, I don't think that you're batshit crazy.
Nice.
And you do bring up some good, valid points. And I consider myself a centrist. And, some of these things that you're bringing up, it are concerning. And I've noticed that myself because, just because you're fucking poor doesn't mean it's a death sentence, whether you're black or white or whatever.
Period.
We should do more. I've seen a lack of people wanting to do things in their community, and that goes for everybody. And, we are a collective here in the United States. And I think that's the problem with what's going on. I think that's been the problem with the black culture in America and racism. And
what's the problem with the black culture?
I like to see more integration.
Integration into what?
People doing things together.
Why will we do that?
I live in a small community, and it's.
So don't you think that would be more of a problem with the white community and not the black community? We aren't the ones that have been historically exclusionary. So that's more of a white people problem. It's not really our issue. We never excluded you guys. We more or less we didn't exclude you. We didn't make any laws to exclude you. We didn't create spaces that you couldn't come in. We didn't do that. What happened was, right, you guys excluded us. And then because of your exclusion, y'all then started to kill us. And then you also ate us. And then you also lynched us. And then you did it at lunch, right? So with that being said, my people said, if there's a bear in the woods and I've already been bitten by a bear and I'm missing an arm, I'm probably not going to run back in the woods with the bear. So our lack of wanting to be bothered doesn't come from just wanting to be segregated. That's forced. That's a forced system. If we're talking about our lack of wanting to understand, wanting to be left alone and just say, hey, we don't want to be bothered with you because historically you have been no good for us. then you can't be angry with people for wanting to do that. I think there are people out there who believe that they hate, strawberry ice cream. And me personally, I think it's the devil. I'll never fucking buy it. I don't like it. So with that being said, because of the time that I had that ice cream and it made me throw the fuck up all over my front yard, and then I had to go in the house when everybody else got to make s'mores because I was sick off of fucking strawberry ice cream, I said I will never eat strawberry ice cream again. Right? Strawberry ice cream gave me a reason to not fuck with it again, so now I don't fuck with it. Now, if I went and I said I don't like donuts, and somebody said, hey, why don't you like donuts? And I said, I don't know. Then that would be prejudice. That wouldn't make any sense. It's an irrational fear, right? But if you have something that is genuinely, right, made you sick, harmed your community, hurt your people, then you are going to be much more cautious about how you handle that thing. So I think that in this moment, there needs to be more conversations with white people amongst white people rather than trying to have conversations with black people about why we don't fuck with white people. Maybe you should have conversations with the people that came before you that were harmful to the people that came before me that made me have to heed the warning in the first place.
My relatives weren't like that. So, I mean,
Do y'all remember my deflection episode? If you haven't listened to the podcast, it's called You Ought to Know Better. I hope you guys will go and listen to it because these are the conversations that I am so tired of having. Because when you have a conversation about a systemic issue, right? I didn't say, John, your parents and your grandparents were the reason that segregation happened, that Jim Crow happened, that slavery happened, that that Title I funding is being cut. Your family is the reason that that children in this country have different socioeconomic statuses. Your parents having access to the Homestead Act and your parents having access to government subsidies that help them move to the suburbs. All of those different things, John, you and you only, your family and your family only are the reason that America is screwed. No, that's where the problem comes in, is when we actually start to try to break down those barriers with you all, you turn it into something personal instead of actually looking at the whole. Because see, I don't have to, when I look back on my history, I have to grieve more than one family member in more than one state that was killed by the KKK. I didn't say your family was the KKK. What I said was, if I have to go back and I have to grieve about 3 different instances in 3 different places, that says that's a systemic issue. And if we're not willing to have conversations about those systemic issues without taking them personally, then I have no interest in wanting to be around someone like that, because that means that your whole goal in the conversation is self-preservation and not the collective. That's a dangerous person. I can't deal with it.
Well, I'm certainly not that. My point is that we are a melting pot, and we should do things together. We should.
Who's melting?
We are a melting pot. We, the United States of America.
No, it's not.
Yes, we are. Absolutely.
No, it's not.
If
it was a melting pot, then that would mean that all of our cultures are comfortably mixing. Right? All of our cultures are comfortably coming together to create a cohesive space. That's not happening. What's happening in this moment, hold on, is we're talking about the president, same president you voted for, I'd imagine, who said that undocumented persons were the enemy within. They were vermin. He's the same person, right, that talked about a culture of people and is throwing them into detention centers right now, but not deporting them. He's the one who is actively going to the Smithsonian and telling them to say that Black history is inaccurate. He's the one that made sure that 350,000 Black women lost their jobs under the guise of DEI, when DEI has very, very little to do with race. He is the same person, right, who got up on the stage and said that people need to come into this country and assimilate. Stephen Miller, his head, his homie, the partner, he said, I want 100 million people in this country and I want them to all look like me. So if we're talking about a melting pot, that would mean everyone working together cohesively. That's not happening. So that wouldn't be true.
So, do you think that the ideology of being radical Muslims is is dangerous for this country.
Tell me what the Muslim faith exists of. What does it consist of? How do they worship? What do they read? What's in the Bible that they read? I mean, in the book that they read. Tell me about Muslims. Tell me
about the Quran.
Tell me everything you know about Muslims.
I know enough that if you are not one of them, you deserve death.
Okay.
It says it black and white right there.
Hey, what's the penalty for blasphemy under Christianity?
Well, it's
what's the penalty for blasphemy? Let's get there. What's the penalty for blasphemy under Christian? So if you're not one, if you decide that you're not one of them,
hold on.
No. If you're not one of them, then where do you go?
What?
You should worship no other God but me. Right? That's rule number 1. So my question to you is, what did they? It's the same God. Muslims worship the same God we worship.
No.
They don't worship the same God? Show me in the Quran where they don't worship the same God.
Absolutely not.
Show me in the Quran. I've read it cover to cover, and I've read your Bible more than you've read it, I bet.
Maybe you have.
So show me in the Quran where we don't worship the same God.
Well, do you believe in Jesus Christ?
Why are you getting so personal with me? That's weird.
Because
do you believe in Jesus Christ?
Yes, I do. I mean, we're the same
God. I know you
God.
believe in Jesus Christ.
So I believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So I mean, where do you stand on that? I mean, you're saying that we worship the same God.
Wait, but you voted for Trump.
I mean, so.
The same person that doesn't want to feed the poor, right? Because we're cutting subsidies. Hold on. We're cutting social programs. Heal the sick, right? Didn't he say heal the sick? Right? Heal the sick means we shouldn't have 26% higher health premiums. Wait, didn't he say that he should teach? Right? We should teach. And we're defunding education. So it's interesting. He also doesn't like the LGBTQIA community. Right? Remember you said that's what Donald Trump said. You voted for these.
There's mental health there. And
there's mental health
in this country.
So then, okay, wait a minute. So you believe in God, right?
Absolutely.
So you believe that God makes mistakes.
Are you saying we don't have a mental health problem in this country?
I'm asking you specifically, does God make mistakes?
Turn on to YouTube and look to see how people
I don't watch YouTube.
People are acting like
YouTube is where people go to give you their opinions and then flash a bunch of stuff on the screen real fast. I go to actual sources. Let's have a conversation. Hold on, John. Hey, John.
That's what the whole goddamn point is here, is people being involved in community. And
hey, John,
you're being divisive.
You voted for the. Wait a minute. No. You came up here and said that wasn't my plot. So with that said, my thing is, why can't we see? This is what I said. Do y'all see what I'm talking about? Remember when I said we get to that point where they take it personal? It gets personal. It's never a conversation about the collective. That's dangerous. It's never a conversation about the collective, because when you get backed into a corner, then it's no longer a conversation. Do you see how you just flipped? We've had a good conversation up to now, and you just flipped. Jet quick, I got TDS. You went the hell off. Because why? Because,
Tell me what you do for your community.
Oh, you don't want to ask me that. Are you sure?
I do, sure.
Are you sure?
Yes. How do you encourage others to do the same? If you do.
All right. This is what I do for my community. First of all, I help push policy through my state house in Tennessee, in the reddest state. On top of that, I also work with other people and teach them how to build policy so that they can change the laws of their communities. I also have opened 4 food banks in my city, on top of the fact that I've assisted with in multiple cities helping to open up community centers to keep kids off the streets. I also make sure that the same people who have on those red hats and the Trump flags that are now without jobs, when they pull up to those food banks, I make sure I put a box in theirs too. Sometimes I give them 2 because I know those are the type that don't really like to ask for help. So I like to make sure that their kids ain't got to suffer when they feel like when their pride get too big. So see, when you talk about what I do for my community, trust and believe I'm probably more boots on the ground than anybody you've met in a very, very long time, because the future of my community is the future of this country, and the future of my community is the future that I'm building for the 3 children that I have. And so with that being said, I know that one of these days my head is going to go cold. And when my head go cold, my kids are going to have to make sure that they are taken care of. And in every way possible, I want to make sure that I have an opportunity to leave them generational wealth. I have an opportunity to make sure that I create lasting relationships with people so that they understand that if I'm not here, my kids can go and they can ask whoever it is in the community they need to ask in the neighborhood what they need. When them kids is hungry out their door, guess who they come to? Yeah, so see, I'm the one they call Mama AJ around here. When they pull up and they hungry, I make sure that they're good. If they need them clothes washed because they mama ain't got it, bring them. When my kids get rid of stuff, I don't take it to the Goodwill. I call everybody, hey, your baby got this, and this. See, I'm that kind of community. So you understand? I was built in a village. My family was built in a village. How we do this is we take care of folk. And so that's something that y'all don't necessarily understand, or maybe you don't understand. But see, I create villages everywhere I go, from Alabama to Georgia to Florida and now to Tennessee. So please understand that when you ask me what I'm doing for my community, I touch every single one that I go into, and I never leave it worse than I came. Next. Now let's talk about Jesus, like we were talking about. Now, my question to you specifically, you said that if you're not one of them, right, that you should, what is it, that you should be executed, go to hell? That's the same thing y'all do in Christianity. So I don't understand why it's different death. Just because it's another religion.
You deserve death. That's what the Quran says.
Oh, you talking about the same "Thou shalt not kill" Bible?
No.
So you gonna die?
The Quran.
Oh, so wait a minute. So you talking about the same Bible where God flooded a whole planet and killed everybody?
So
your God.
How do you feel if by 2050, which is whenever Muslims are reported to, there'll be more Muslims than Christians. So
why do you care about that?
Because I don't want to see my granddaughter in a burqa.
Do you want to see your granddaughter own a home?
She won't own a home.
Do you want to see your granddaughter have access to food? Do you want to see her have access to college that's going to be affordable? Do you want to see her have access to jobs that are going to allow for her to live a life that is fruitful for herself? Do you want to see her have access to health care that allows for her to keep your bloodline going and not die on the labor table? Do you want to see her have access to education that is heavily invested in because the government cares more about future generations than they do about fear-mongering people about religion? Because see, here's the thing. Nobody's born Muslim. At the end of the day, Muslim is a choice because it is a religion. There are plenty of Christians who leave Christianity to become Muslims. There are Muslims that leave Islam to become Christians. You don't know how that's going to go, and there is no way to quantify how that's going to look in 50 years. As a matter of fact, it's really interesting that you
look up the stats.
Where are the stats? Tell me where I can find them.
Just Google them.
You've done your research on this. Don't tell me YouTube. Tell me a study.
I said Google them.
Tell me a study.
Use your Google machine.
No, see, here's the thing. When you are confident in your information, you can tell me exactly where to get the information from. So my question is, you are serious about this. This means the world to you. I would like to know where I can find a government source that says that we have a Muslim takeover in America. I want to see it.
So now you're asking for numbers whenever you were spitting numbers that were wrong.
Okay,
earlier.
I tell you what, my numbers were never wrong. As a matter of fact, you came up here and clarified that for me, but I like how you tried it. So quick question. My question to you specifically is, I tell you what, fine. I'm going to type in, is there a Muslim takeover in America? You told me to Google this. Perfect. Now, I just Googled it. Hold on. I just Googled it. Tell me which one of these. Tell me. Tell me what you want me to Google. Tell me. I'm sorry. Tell me what you'd like for me to Google. I wasn't listening. I apologize.
Ask Muslim to Christian population, United
Muslim
States, 2050.
To Christian population in the United States.
2050.
Okay. So let's take a look. Now, which one of these?
2050.
No, I'm asking you specifically, which one of these do I click on? Institute of Social Policy, Wikipedia. See, that's not a peer reviewed source. Anybody can change that one. Quora, Pew Research, Muslim population on Facebook. How many Muslims convert to Christianity each year? Custom report excerpts. 2023 PRR Census of American Religion. Like, which one of these did you pick when you did your research?
I asked Gemini.
Oh, so you used AI, which is not dependable when it gives us these sources, correct?
No, it gave a source that was credible.
Tell me what source did it give you? Because whenever you click, whenever you use AI, because I can tell you where I get every single study that I read from, because I read it all the way through, even down to the methodology. So my question to you specifically is, when you Googled this, you found that information, and you said that we have a Muslim, like there's more Muslims than Christians, and it's about to have a whole everybody just fucking wrapping up.
Oh, they're fucking what? How many kids? Eight kids.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. Kids? So this a 2023 to 2024 religious landscape study and other Pew Research Center polling find that the Christian, and this is Gemini, I did what you told me. The Christian share of the population after years of decline has been relatively stable since 2019. Right? 62% of U.S. adults describe themselves as Christian. 40% are Protestant, 19% are Catholic, and 3% are other Christians. 29% are religiously unaffiliated. 5 are atheists, 6 are agnostic, and 19 identify religiously as nothing in particular. 7% belong to religions other than Christianity. 2% are Jewish, and 1% are Muslim, Buddhist, and Hindu. And those are all figures that were combined to make 1%. So my question to you specifically is, we don't seem to be finding the same answer in Gemini. So I'd like for you to tell me what source you used, because I found a source that's peer reviewed and it tells me the exact opposite of what you're telling me. So it sounds to me like this is just your hatred speaking.
Now I'm hateful.
Well, I mean, you bought rhetoric. You bought rhetoric against a group of people without doing the proper research. And so with that being said, that would mean that you had a preconceived notion already. You were just looking for something to confirm your bias. That's usually how that works. It's called confirmation bias and manufactured consent. You should research that. It's a psychology of why we do the things we do politically.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, it's, fact of the matter is, I see what's happening in this country and I don't like it.
Tell me where I can find that statistic.
I told you where I found it.
Because less than 1% of our population is Muslim. Less than 1. So with that being said, America is still overwhelmingly Christian. So with that being said, I'm just trying to understand. As a matter of fact, I'll go to a different study. We'll pick it at random. How about, let's see, Global Christian Relief. That sounds real godly. Let's see. Oh, look at this. 67% of America is Christian. Isn't that crazy? Same number. As a matter of fact, it even says here, 667 Muslims on average are converting to Christianity. So I'm just trying to understand, right? And this is yearly. If more people are converting to Christianity, let me give you the other number before you go. Let me give you the other number now, because in terms of Christians going to Muslims, that number falls under about 20 per year. So it's actually way less than you're talking about. So my question to you specifically is, where do you find the statistic? You can't tell me that you don't like something that doesn't exist. Okay, so it does matter more that she not have a burqa on, but yet and still she not have access to adequate home buying. You can leave her with millions of dollars, but if the interest rates are up and houses are unaffordable and being badly built, then what the fuck is the point of her buying one anyway, right? If she goes to college, if she goes to college and she gets a degree and she's not able to get a job in her field because the gender pay gap is actively widening, fuck that. We just don't want the burqa. Also, if she goes into a doctor's office and she's told that she's not adequate for this particular procedure, or that this baby is going to have to die inside of her. And so with that being said, we're not going to be able to remove this child. It poisons her blood and kills her. But fuck the burqa, right? So what about when she goes to the grocery store and in 1 year she's spending $100 for 6 bags of groceries, and then the next year she's spending $100 for 3? But fuck the burqa, right? But what about the fact, right, that if she were to go to her job and she goes to her job and she's sexually harassed by her male boss, we actually have rolled back regulations for women being sexually assaulted on the job. But fuck the burqa, right? So we got to make sure that our priorities are in order, because you're okay with her dying during childbirth as long as she doesn't do it in a burqa. Got it.
Yeah, no, I don't see it that way. And you know, I mean, I can tell you this generation that's coming up right now, there's a bunch of tough young women out there. You know, they knock down barriers that aren't even there anymore. I mean, they don't exist for them. These kids are seeing things completely.
What barriers don't exist for women?
I'm saying that my 15-year-old
My question is, what barriers don't exist for women?
My 15-year-old daughter does not see them at all.
So, you talking about your white child?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, my blonde-haired, blue-eyed white child.
Oh.
Sorry,
okay.
I was born with those genetics. So
that's kind of weird to say, but ew.
I know.
What are you doing? Are you okay?
No,
Don't do that.
Because
that's weird. That's eugenics, and it's really gross. Eugenics is gross. Stop.
I'm sorry.
Stop. That's weird. Stop. Anyways, wow. Wow, chat. That was crazy. Wow. Good old eugenics in 2026. Wow.
No, I mean, because you're the one that brought up that my daughter was white.
Do you not understand that your daughter?
So what if my daughter was mixed?
What is mixed? Dogs are mixed.
I mean, what if she was a mixed race?
Ew. What are you doing? You do understand that it's biracial, right?
I'm saying that would you
mixed is what happens when a pug and a Yorkie fuck.
Whatever color.
That's what mixed means. I mean, it's like when a pit bull gets on top of a chihuahua. That's mixed. So that's kind of weird that you say racist things and you don't even realize they're racist, but it's fine. Yes, your daughter encompasses white privilege.
They're not.
With that said,
you come at me with like, because she's got privilege.
But she does. Do you understand what privilege means?
Well, maybe if she would have grew up in a different community, I guess she wouldn't have had as much privilege as what she does. But
privilege is not financial. Ugh, yikes, John. Oh boy.
I don't know. You know by how you judge people.
So wait a minute. So here's what I found. Here's what I found, John.
Is not right.
But see, the thing is, we only go by statistics and we only go by what is out there. Now everybody in the box is gonna want to talk race, and I fucking hate when this happens. But okay. Anyways, yeah, John, you got a blonde hair, blue eyed baby, since we wanted to say it out loud. Yeah, she is the definition of white privilege. As a matter of fact, do you not remember how America basically idolized white women? how we talk about the fact that white women have had more black men killed in this country than any other race of people? Can we talk about, right, the fact that white women are raising their sons to not understand rejection, and they're raising their daughters to believe that entitlement is upon them? Are we not understanding that the same people will get a leg up in college because of the fact that they have a better socioeconomic background? Is it not the people that will get a better white people that will get a better job simply because of things like the Jamal and John project? You ever read that one? Have you ever seen the John and Jamal experiment, John?
No, but I had 5 kids.
That's interesting. I love that you said that. See, what's interesting is that your daughter, when she gets pulled over by the police, she doesn't have to put her hands on the steering wheel, and she doesn't have to let the police officer come to the side of the car and get whatever she needs out of the glove compartment. See, she can reach over, she can scream, she can holler if she wants to. See, the thing about it is, what happens is, it's not financial how you try to look at it. And what's really funny is that y'all have this whole thing about racism, and it is the one thing that you cultivated from a seed. You cultivated it. I'm talking about you planted it, you nourished it, you harvested it, and then you planted more. And every time, every fall, it came back stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, to a point where you have an unlimited supply, to the point where your children can live off of your racism. You understand? So, see, this is the thing. When you planted that seed, you created something. And what you created was a rolling effect that now has become a systemic issue. But see, when you don't experience that systemic issue, it's easy to ignore. I experienced that systemic issue. But see, the other thing I noticed that you said,
for you.
You don't have to apologize for something
I'm
that you're not
sorry for you.
working
I'm
to
sorry that
change. You're not
you've
working
gone
to
through
change
that.
it,
And,
right? You're not working to change the statistic or the system. And so with
how
that
am I
being
not?
said, how can I do that when you
How
see
am I not?
do you notice how we had a conversation in the beginning? You told me I had to bring you back down from the TDS crash out you had when we got to race and Jesus. See, we still haven't touched on Jesus yet. See, the thing is, you believe that everything that I've said is personal when I'm talking about systemic issues. And again, like I explained to you before, when we talk about something as a collective and fixing something as a collective, and you constantly take it personal, that lets me know that you are not for the collective. That if it happens to go the fuck down, everything is going to be centered around you, which means we're going to have casualties. And that's not how war works. So you have to understand, sir, you are a danger to whatever movement is moving forward, because you haven't removed yourself out of your own privilege to even have a conversation about race, to break down those barriers. And I'm not saying that you're a terrible person for that. What I'm saying is you chose comfort, right, over change. And if that's what you decided that you wanted, and you've come to this point in your life where you are an older gentleman, you have come to this point in your life where you are extremely comfortable in that space, there is nothing I can do for you. That's a walk that you have to take on your own, dear. Because see, the thing about it is, the same people y'all are asking to teach you about the history of this world are the same people who your ancestors erased our history, and we had to go and find it ourselves. So why don't you have to go and look for it? Why don't you have to put that same work in? See, that's not my job.
I know my ancestry 7 generations.
You see how
back.
you went back to you? Y'all see how that works? This is that conversation I keep telling y'all about.
That's what you said. You have to go look. You have to go look. Well, I have.
No, I didn't ask you about your ancestors. I asked you about your people as a collective. I'm talking about white people as a collective.
Well,
see, the thing about it is, you're talking about the people, and because you just needed to make sure your conscience was clear enough.
I have family from England, Austria, Germany.
Was there not a slave trade from England to here?
No.
There was no slave trade in England. You dead ass?
We had nothing to do with that.
There's no slave trade. There was no slave trade in England? Are you sure? Do you want to bet your fruit of the looms on that, John?
So wait a minute.
Do you want to bet your draws?
So just because somebody is
Do you
white,
want to bet your draws, John? I'm asking you. Do you want to bet your draws on that? Because if you want to bet your draws, I'm happy to rip them clean
My
off your
English
ass.
culture is about very.
Do
is very
you
thin.
want to bet your
So
draws?
only one part
That's a
comes from
question.
it.
Do you want to
Most
bet
of
your
it comes from
draws?
Austria.
Lisa, if you want to hear him speak, go start a
Most of it
live.
comes from Austria
John,
and
let me ask you a
Upper Italy,
question.
which used to be Austria.
John, do you want to bet your draws
Do I
that
want to
there
bet my
was no
drawers on
slave
what?
trade
Like I'm a
in
human
UK
being. Like
in Britain?
what you like?
Are you,
So what if
are
I'm
you
black? What if
telling
I'm
me?
part
Are you
black?
telling
Hey,
me
I'm part
there
Indian.
was no slave
So
trade
I
in
mean,
England?
I mean, like you know, I mean,
Are
my
you sure?
grandmother walked the Trail of Tears.
I'm
So
asking
I
you
mean,
specific. Listen, you can run around the point all you want to. That's cute. My
no, I
question
mean,
to
like
you.
you're like
Hey,
wait a minute,
let's go to
English,
the
like
National Archives. Boom. The British transatlantic slave trade was a massive commercial system that
I
forcibly
had
migrated
nothing to do with
between
that, lady.
3.1 and 3.4 million Africans to the Americas between the 16th and 19th century. Backed
Okay.
by the British Crown and major financial institutions, Britain became the world's most dominant slave trading
Yeah,
power
they were.
during the 18th century, profoundly shaping the country's industrial revolution.
You know, you're talking about slavery. I mean,
That's
you're
all,
getting into
folks.
that. You're getting into slavery, and
So the British Crown didn't go and steal the crown jewels.
no, I'm getting into. I'm
They
getting into
didn't
your
steal from
slavery issue
Africa.
here.
They didn't steal from the people. They didn't steal people from the
What was
people.
that guy's name? Because indentured servitude used to be for 7 years until he took somebody to court because it was a
Hey,
black man in the
if you're talking
1600s.
about I love that you're about to try to use right Anthony Johnson when George Yeardley, a white man in 1619, was the first slave owner right here on this land. Huh? So see how you keep deflecting the conversation.
Whenever he
The
took,
white race is dying right now because of deflection. And I'm telling you that. The average age of a white person in this country is 46 years old because of the fact that you guys have deflected to every other group in this country for years, and you have allowed yourselves to get to the point that you're at. You are a dying race of people. And I'm not saying that in a fucked up way. I'm saying that factually. You are a dying race of people because of the fact that when slavery was when it came down to you not wanting to do your work, you went and stole people. When you brought the people back over here, you made them do your work for you. When they were freed, you spent more time instead of trying to actually create laws in this country. You continued to create slave codes and black codes, and then Jim Crow. You arrested people for not having vagrancy. I mean, for not having jobs the day after they were freed. There are still Jim Crow laws to this day that are on the books. On top of the fact that they have been rewritten to not use race, and they instead have been rewritten to use the same type of redlining gerrymandering bullshit that people have been doing all these years. But yet and still you've said Latinos are your problem, black people are your problem, gay people are your problem, Muslims are your problem,
didn't say any of
the
those
J
things.
people are your problem. You've said all of these things. I didn't see how you keep making it about you, John. This isn't about
No,
you. You're not
you
good
just
for the
said that I
collective.
said that.
When I say you have to understand that colloquially I'm talking about a group of people. But see, this is the thing.
That's
you're already
racist.
in your feelings, so that's going to get in your mind. How can
That's
I be
fucked
racist?
up.
How can I
That
be
is fucked
racist?
up because you just described it in what you just said.
Did I lie?
I didn't have nothing to do with that.
Did I
My
lie?
answers didn't have shit to do
My
with that.
question to you specifically is, did I lie?
I mean, my ancestors might have conquered.
Did I
don't know,
lie?
like,
Did I lie about what happened in this country? Yes or no? I don't give a fuck about your people. I'm asking
Okay.
you specifically,
Well, you
did I
said
lie
my
about what
people.
happened in this
like
country?
we know, like history books
I'm asking
say
you specifically, yes or no, did I lie?
what that slavery happened.
No,
Yes, it
everything I
happened.
just said out of my mouth, tell me one lie I told.
You kind of keep going.
Gotcha.
honey.
So there isn't one,
So-
which makes me understand that when you said that's fucked up, you realized exactly what I was saying. That was all I needed. That was a
This is
concession
awesome.
right there, my boy.
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting to think about how terrible white America has completely depleted its
Oh my
own people.
God.
It's sad. It is.
It's just
You're
America.
right.
It's not white America. It's America. It's
Yes, it is.
it's white culture.
That's what your
black
president said.
culture. It's fucked up culture. I mean, it's
What is
fucking
white
people
culture?
coming in this country.
What is white culture?
I don't even know if white people know anymore.
What is white culture? What was it?
What white people don't even know what their culture is anymore.
What was it?
It was family reunions and
That
understanding
wasn't
where
that
you
was that's
came
black
from
culture.
and where your family came from and how your family
Y'all didn't come up with family
contributed
reunions. That was black people.
into America and your cousins and I mean,
Y'all didn't come up with family reunions.
because they're those are dying off. Those are dying off.
Hey, why were family reunions created?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Why do we have family reunions?
Because why do you have cookouts?
Haha. The reason I'm going to tell you, because you don't know, you're not going to tell me you don't know, but it's fine. It's because you separated our people so much that when we finally actually reunited with each other, it was a way for us to celebrate in the midst of y'all taking everything from us. So there's that. When you talk about white culture, show me different.
Oh my God, my family came from
different.
My family came from Italy. My family came from Italy.
I thought they were British.
Settling in Appalachia, Ohio, and fucking got together. I mean, damn.
You do know black, but I'm saying family reunions were created by black people. So I'm asking you specifically, what is white culture? That's my question.
So I'm trying to tell you that nobody goes to those things anymore, and nobody gets to know these people. We still got family reunions. We have one every year. I mean, that's what they're missing out on.
Not doing too hot over there.
Their culture is whatever.
We still have family reunions.
Says.
Hey, black people in the chat, if y'all still have family reunions, let me get a unicorn. Black people in the chat, if y'all still have family reunions, let me get a unicorn in the chat. See, the thing is, we still have family reunions. We still understand what the collective means. Oh, what is going on? Look at them unicorns just coming on in. Yikes, looks like you guys aren't having family reunions. We're fine. See, the thing is, you are sitting here trying to saying that you don't know what white culture is. Let me tell you what white culture is. Let me be honest. White culture, right, is putting people in bondage. White culture is raping and killing so many people that you cool the temperature of the earth because of deforestation and the fact that you killed so many people. White culture is black codes. White culture is slave codes. White culture is Jim Crow. White culture.
We kill a lot of Southerners free,
culture
like fucking winning the war.
Do you know what happened during the war? Oh, see, now we got to go down that rabbit hole. So, do you remember during the war when the Confederacy was getting their ass whooped so bad that they had to go to the slaves and say, "Hey, listen, if y'all will help us the fuck out, y'all can get the fuck on after this. We don't even want you to stay no more. Just fuck it, just help us, because they are kicking our ass." And then what happened? It took us, all right, my ancestors, to go out there and fight that war to free themselves. Many of them escaped to the north and fought for the Union. And so eventually what happened was many of those same soldiers that couldn't actually escape to the north after they were they revolted and started killing all the other slave owners and said, "Fuck you guys." We decided, my people, right, even after all the bullshit, still took out their own people up to the north to make sure that they was good. So see, the thing is, right, when you talk about the war, make sure that you're well versed in history, because that is one thing that I really enjoy studying. So when you're talking about the war and you said white people freed us, tell me, how'd they do it?
Well, I didn't say we freed you.
You said you fought to free us.
We fought against rebel, rebel country. And
no, you fought against each other.
War was states' rights.
That's like the most white people shit ever. Y'all fought against each other. Y'all literally said, white people, we're supposed to be, we're supposed to be, right? We're supposed to be locked in, and we're supposed to be taking care of each other because we are suppressing niggas, right? But then y'all got mad because we couldn't figure out who wanted to suppress niggas and who didn't. And then y'all said y'all wanted to square up. So you guys decided in your own country to fight each other. 500,000 people were killed because of the fact that you guys couldn't get along enough to understand that you're not entitled to control. See, that's the thing. That's another psychological point of history that we have to pay attention to. When you give everyone entitlement to control, then what happens is those people start to create a hierarchy inside of that control, which eventually leads to disaster. And what's happened in that moment moment is your control and your entitlement to it led to a competition on who could do it the best. And then y'all ended up killing each other to the point where y'all had to call my people to come and help y'all so you wouldn't lose any more people. So fought who? Who did you fight? You fought each other. It wasn't a rebel country.
Wow. Wow.
I never talk race on this
Man, I'm
this
sure that
freaking
flag
platform. I
I'm
try to
sure
stay
that
away from it.
Confederate
I
flag
do.
bothers me more than it bothers you.
Your flag bothers you?
No, I said I'm sure that Confederate flag bothers me more than it bothers you.
Oh no, my family fought for the Union. We fight for winning teams over here.
So that you're saying, what I'm trying to say is that Confederate flag bothers me because it is a traitor flag, and it pisses me off when I see.
Why you don't tell your people that?
It. Pardon?
Tell your people that. Why you telling me that? What am I going to benefit from that? I'm not flying that motherfucker.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Well,
saying.
I thank you very much for our conversation here, and I'll let you move on. I just started in with a compliment, and
and you left with a whole bunch of knowledge that you got to sit with.
Sure.
It's not comfortable to hear. It's not comfortable to hear that your history isn't pretty. Imagine how we felt growing up knowing that our ancestors were raped, tied to horses and ripped apart, hung at picnics, killed, just murdered for trying to vote. That's why the KKK was formed. The Molotovs in their house. See how you're getting personal again? I really don't know you and I don't really give a fuck. I'm saying what I said to you specifically was we had to learn the awful history of how people fucking murdered our people, how they raped our women, how they forced slaves to rape one another. Excuse me, slow down, because I want to finish my way. I want to finish my point. I do want to finish my point. I want to finish my point. That's what I want to do. I'd like to finish my point. See, you're losing it. Calm down. That's what happens when you have to sit with barbarism. That's what happens.
Who do you want to blame?
Why does somebody have to blame somebody? Why can't we just fix the system?
You want to blame somebody. So blame
Why can't we just fix the system? See, the thing is, you are just, do you want to talk about that timeline? We can talk about that too.
Who is accountable now?
No. Since you want to go down that one, let's go that way.
Who is accountable now?
I don't even like talking about race, y'all. I fucking hate it, but let's do it. All right. So since you want to talk about who's accountable for what the circumstances are right now, that would be white people. Let me tell you how.
So wait a minute.
Okay. So even after the freedmen, See, because you keep walking in it, and I keep trying to hold your hand and walk you out, but you just jump right in. You know what I'm saying? So let's go for it.
So who?
Okay, number one.
Who?
Excuse me.
Who?
I'm gonna finish my point.
You need to be mad at 1%.
Here is my thing.
You need to be mad at.
So when we talk about what has happened in this country in terms of making sure that white people had a leg up, right? Let's talk about the fact that number one, for almost 400 years, your people had a head start. That's number one. Number two, if we talk about the time of slavery from 1619 to 1868, right? Because most slaves weren't freed until 68. So 1868, right? Let's just say up until that time, you guys were gaining financial prosperity that Chase Bank, JP Morgan Chase Bank, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Wells Fargo still holds. They testified this in front of the oversight committee, the committee, that they still hold slave bonds from what used to be called Buttonwood Street. Now, if we're talking about the fact, no, it's not 1%. If you actually want to talk about it, no. What you're doing is you're talking about no. You don't understand how those numbers are calculated. Sit back. So, anyways, while I'm sitting, what you're not explaining, hold on. See, because now you're losing it. You okay? Yeah, dial it back.
They have the money.
Listen, see, you're losing it because you had all those years. You had over 100 and something years to be able to get financial prosperity. They're still holding those. See, it used to be called Buttonwood Street before it was Wall Street. And the first bank to ever be on Wall Street was Chase. And so with that said, to this day, they still hold those slave bonds. See, the rule was that you had to have a wooden fortified structure and it had to have a buttonwood tree anywhere to the north or the east. And that's where you auctioned off your slaves. That was the first purest form of capital on the stock market, capital that black people couldn't actually couldn't invest in, right? Then it came down to years and years of black people not being able to invest in the stock market, on top of being turned away for jobs, on top of being told that they wouldn't be able to benefit from the GI Bill, on top of being told that generational wealth was not an option to them. And so then here we are at about the 80s, where then you come into our neighborhoods where we had a whole issue with the Sandinista government and the fact that Ronald Reagan was a drug dealer giving Nancy Reagan back shots with a do-rag on and a gun on a dresser. So let's be real, okay? Because he was the one that was actually ignoring the whole fucking Sandinista government actually importing drugs into this country in exchange for weapons. So let's have a conversation about that. So that actually put more people in jail. And then we got that 94 crime bill. Don't tell me it was all Democrats, because you never read it. I can promise you that. So with that being said, we had that created more mass incarceration. As that created more mass incarceration, it took away from generational wealth. You talked about fathers not being in the home, but you voted for them to go to jail. And so with that being said, nobody advocated. I'm not done. I'm not done. See, because you went down this rabbit hole, so let's go. So see, here's the thing. Now, with that, during that time when you were putting trucks of drugs into neighborhoods and you were starving those people of resources, you said it was a criminal problem until it hit your kids, and your kids started getting fentanyl in their asses, and they kept passing the fuck out, nodding off, folding it all the way down.
Well,
so now all of a sudden it's a health issue, right? So now all of a sudden it's a health issue. Now all of a sudden it's a health issue, right? But when it was my people, it wasn't a health issue. It was a prison issue. It was a criminal issue. So let's talk about it. From 1619 to about 2000, and let's just say now, you guys have 100% defeated every possibility for black people to create generational wealth. In spite of, we did it anyway. So here's the thing. The more you talk about blaming someone, the issue, if we want to talk about blaming people, y'all say that we have all of these kids out of wedlock and this, that, and the third, and the baby daddies ain't there. 66% of fathers. Actually, according to the CDC, black men are the most active fathers. When we talk about nuclear families, we stay married. When we talk about the fact that we are the ones that even when you redlined and said that we couldn't purchase houses, we showed up and we bought them anyway. See, it was us during the Great Depression, where it was y'all, because we weren't even allowed to put our money in the banks. It was y'all who was digging out of my folks' trash cans to eat y'all's food, to eat their food, their leftovers, their scraps, because the bank robbed you. But they had to keep theirs up under the bed in a shoebox. So please understand that everything that you're talking about in this moment makes absolutely no sense, and you have not one leg to stand on if you're trying to debate anything about my people's history. Because the fact of the matter is, if you actually knew something about your history, your people would be better off. Stop trying to debate ours and worry about your own, because white people have been barbaric since the beginning, and the reason that you have chosen not to go back to those ideals is because when it came down to equality, it felt like oppression, and all you knew was to be barbarians after that. Now, again, I hate debating this topic, so I'm going to drop you for tonight, but I am done with that. Chet, I don't like to get there. I'm sorry that it felt a little heated. I apologize. I try to stay very, very calm, but that just I don't like having conversations with white people about my humanity. I can't stand it. It is frustrating for me, and that is probably the only time you'll ever see me get loud. So that is one of the reasons that I don't debate it. And a lot of you always say, like, you should talk about race more. You should have more conversations about race. I will never in my life sit on the internet and make it my mission to prove to white people that I deserve to exist. Fuck them. Fuck anybody who believes I don't deserve to exist, because I myself am going to continue to live my best motherfucking life as a black woman in this country, as an educated black woman in this country with 2 motherfucking degrees, as an educated black woman in this country that's teaching her kids to go get the same education that y'all swearing our kids won't get. Y'all so busy pointing fingers at us that you won't even fix your own. That's your problem. I'm sorry. Guys, if you want to support the stream, my Cash App is AJ Miller 3309. My PayPal is Watch My Smoke ATL. Also, make sure you're tapping the screen. Go hit the links in my bio. My podcast is there. It's called You Oughta Know Better, and it is on iHeart. It is on Spotify. It is on I just uploaded some episodes to YouTube. You guys can check it out there. My YouTube is also in the link in my bio. So guys, make sure you hit it up there. Thank you guys so much for everybody who came in tonight. It is 1:30. It's way past usually the time that I'm in here. So I'm going to go ahead and let's get to our positive message for the night before I let y'all go, because every night I try to give you a positive message so that you can decompress just a little bit. All right, this is what it is. Hey, you don't remember when you were learning how to walk. You don't remember when you were learning how to talk. You don't remember when you were learning how to eat. You don't remember when you were learning how to put your clothes on. But you do it really well now. I bet. And the reason that is because you had to fail enough times to get it right. Some of us are fighting with the fact that failure has touched us, but that's because we look at it that way. Failure is never final. And there are no losses in life, always lessons. So remember that in those moments where you feel like you failed, in those moments where it feels like this is just the moment, this is my sign to give up. No, it's your sign to take that apart and learn from it. Because whatever you're doing, if you're failing at it, there's a reason that you have to learn from it, because it's going to be something great. No matter what it is. And it doesn't have to be the thing that everybody thought you were going to do. It doesn't have to be the thing that everybody expected you to do. It has to be the thing that makes you the happiest. And so as I tell you all every night, and we always close out with this, can I get those unicorns in the chat, sweet friends? If you don't have enough sparkle today, that's okay. I love you. I'll be here if you need me. Take some time to get yourself together. But if you happen to get caught up in your mind, make sure you reach out. If you do have enough sparkle to sprinkle into this dark ass world, do so. We can use your light. And as always, 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 my loves, in a world full of jackasses, always remember to be a unicorn. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for such an amazing evening. And thank you to all of my new friends and all of my old ones. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I love you so much. Good night.